Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Mine's just getting started. It's a little late start this morning, but the way it goes sometimes. Well, some of you are wondering what the heck is this crap? And that's a good question because normally I'm doing timber framing. But I've got to go back to Georgia and clean out my pond. We've got a fairly large farm pond that we've got a lot of lily pads, or excuse me, fragrant water lilies and water shields. That's the official term. I've always just called them lily pads that have overgrown the pond. The pond's about 35 acres and we've got probably 12 or 13 acres of lily pads on it. But the other problem is I've also got coontail. A lot of coontail in the pond that I've got to go in and kill. Now, again, I used to just call that moss, but the official term for it is coontail. There's several different submerged aquatic plants, and that's the main one that I'm dealing with. So my way of doing that is granular herbicide. Thank you, Miller Lite truck, for driving by right then. So the way I treat it is an aquatic granular herbicide. This stuff is $400 a bag, give or take, for a 40 to 50 pound bag. So I make my own. So not the cheapest oil dry, but it was apparently there's a shortage on it, and this is the only one I could find. But plain old oil dry. The label fell off of this. It's on that side. It didn't fall off completely, but it mostly came off. That is a 2,4-D aquatic rated. It's certified or labeled for aquatic use as well. So really and truly what I do is I'm going to try to get roughly a gallon of this per 40 pounds. So this is my mix bucket here. My kid's old little shovel they've kind of outgrown. And then that's my main storage tub I'm going to put everything in when I go down to Georgia. So pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and get started. But basically just go in. I want to pour in some of the oil dry and then pour in some of the herbicide and keep mixing it until I get to my saturation point. So the reason, and I kind of mentioned this before, is a 40 to 50 pound bag of granular herbicide runs $350, $400, closer to 400 from what I've seen. This was, I want to say 70 or 80 bucks. This was the expensive stuff, and it cost me, I think it was about $9 what I paid for it. Usually Tractor Supply, Rural King, and a couple other, your normal places will sell it for about $7. Cost me a little bit more than I was wanting, but nobody else had it. So, all in all, instead of $350, $400, I'm going to have maybe 30. Well, let's probably 40 bucks in it, give or take. So, a lot cheaper, and I can make my own. If you got a cement mixer, that's what we used to actually use when we had it on the farm to go through and make this stuff up. You can just pour it in and it'll cement mix it and then just dump it out. So it's easier to do that way, but it's the old saying, gotta run what you brung. Alrighty, let me go ahead and pour some in. Nice good old dusty environment. Poke that seal through. Notice again, I am wearing gloves. Don't play around with this stuff, people. It is nasty. Somehow or another, I hit the remote start on the truck. But getting back to it, there is not a whole lot to this. You can see, pour in your oil dry, pour in some of the herbicide, and stir it around. Again, a cement mixer or anything like that, would make this go a lot faster. Now the reason I'm keeping track of as far as looking on the side of my jug here to see how much is, like anything else, I need to keep track of how much is in there. So there's an application rate for this, meaning how much goes per acre. And at the end of the day, it's not how much of the pellets go per acre, it's how much of the herbicide the pellets contain go per acre. Okay, so keep track of that. All right, look at the application rates. Typically you're looking, depending upon the concentration of it and everything else, about 1 gallon per acre, give or take, of the actual herbicide. So that's what I'm shooting for. Alrighty. So I'm probably going to add a little bit more to this, but that is roughly 1 gallon of Aquatic 2,4-D, and this was a 33 pounds, getting short. It used to be a 40-pound bag. Now everybody's got to shrink everything. Thank you, inflation and cheap companies. But I probably have in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 pounds left in that. So I've got, give or take, 20 or 25 pounds of oil dry in there, somewhere in that range. And 1 gallon of that pesticide is a little over 8 pounds. I'd have to look, but when you're looking at it as far as weight wise, 1 gallon of it's a little bit over 8 pounds. So I'm rocking a neighborhood of 30 pounds right there. I probably could use to add all of the oil dry in to get it to the same rate that the companies do, but I'm pretty content with it. I do want to make sure that it's not heavily saturated. It doesn't all look wet. I want to make sure that, you know, you've got a heavy amount of gray in there, because you're going to see it absorb throughout all of it as time goes on. But I'm going to put the lids on this, put this stuff up. I don't want the dog coming around and licking it and dying, or the neighbor's animals either. But I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff up, keep it safe, and I've got several others to mix over the next few days before my trip. I'll show some videos of me going out there and spraying the lily pads and my setup there, and how I'm going to spread this out. Well, hey, appreciate it. Hopefully this will save y'all a nickel, but it's worked out to be quite effective for us as far as being able to go through and you know, get this stuff out and try to get the plants submerged up underneath the surface of the water. So it works out pretty well for what we've done. So appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.